You are the one from my dreams. Then the stars were right. And this is the day. Gods give me strength. Perhaps the gods have placed you here so that we may meet. As for what you have done, it does not matter. That is not what you will be remembered for. There will be blood and death before the end.
Some games feel like adventures. Others feel like memories you never actually had. Oblivion isn't just a game about saving the world. It's about witnessing it crumble, watching lives unfold, and realizing that even in victory, there's a cost no one can escape. I didn't grow up an Elder Scrolls fan. Of course, it was impossible not to hear about people playing Skyrim back in the 2010s, but I didn't even know Oblivion in Morrowind even really existed until a couple years ago. I had wishlisted the original Oblivion on Steam last year, waiting for it to go on a deep discount sale. Then the big shadow drop happened and we got Oblivion Remastered. I bought it, and about 10 months later, it was finally time for me to play it. I've never had the feeling of nostalgia playing a game when I had never played the original game. At first, Cyrodiil almost seems peaceful. The amazing night sky, birds chirping, busy towns, merchants calling out their wares, and villagers following their daily routines. You aren't the center of this world. You're just a part of it. Each NPC even has a schedule. A farmer works from dawn until dusk, a blacksmith hammers metal in his forge, and travelers constantly move along the roads, and sometimes will even exchange greetings. That sense of normalcy creates the emotional anchor for the Oblivion journey. Then chaos arrives, and the gates begin to open, spilling demons into towns and forests. Fields near Coral are scorched and littered with Daedra corpses. The streets of Bravil become dangerous as gates appear nearby. Even smaller villages like Chedenhall aren't completely destroyed, but are surrounded by devastation with ruined farms and frightened civilians. By showing life before destruction, Oblivion makes its disaster almost feel earned. You don't just fight demons, you witness the collateral damage of an entire empire under siege. I came to realize pretty quickly that the true Oblivion experience isn't just arriving at a town or a destination. It's truly getting lost in the world. The beautiful and mysterious towns all around Cyrodiil, or walking through the endless forests and coming across a hidden cave, and then proceeding to spend hours exploring that area. Sometimes quests and exploration could be simple and straightforward, but most of the time it goes much deeper. That is the real Oblivion experience.
Let me see your face. You are the one from my dreams. Then the stars were right. And this is the day. Gods give me strength.
Oblivion's narrative isn't simply about defeating monsters or fulfilling prophecies. From the beginning, it sets a tone that is darker and more somber than many players might remember. The Emperor is the first character you really meet in the game. I thought I was going to be fighting by his side for dozens of hours to come as a first-time player. But then, he's assassinated. It does make the world feel instantly very fragile, as if anyone in the game could be killed at any time. I mean, if the Emperor can die, anyone can, right? As you progress through Oblivion, you witness tragedies at a large scale, watching villages burn and death everywhere. But even minor NPC stories can carry some weight. A farmer losing his harvest, a child separated from parents, or a town's only healer goes missing. The small moments are what gave the world a sense of realism and emotion more than the big moments. Unlike the overt threat of Oblivion Gates, the Dark Brotherhood represents moral decay within the Empire itself. They strike towns, leaving victims dead in their beds, families torn apart, and fear spreading through communities silently. In the world of Cyrodiil, you're the hero of Kvatch, a fighter and maybe a mage. But then underground, you become something entirely different, darker. Even when I was completing the Dark Brotherhood contracts, I kept thinking, can I just really murder these people without consequences? Even in a world threatened by Daedra, humans can be the most dangerous threat to one another. Until even the Dark Brotherhood rips itself apart. I don't think I'll ever forget walking in and seeing Lucien Lechance hanging from a cabin ceiling and having the members of the Black Hand surrounding him, responsible for their death. That genuinely was shocking.
What is important is getting to Xedilian. Quickly! Before I get bored. Oh, you wouldn't like me when I'm bored.
The Shivering Isles DLC takes Oblivion's depth to another level. At that point, 80 hours into Oblivion, you think you understand this fantasy world. Then you enter the Shivering Isles. It feels like stepping into someone else's dream and realizing they're losing their mind. Absurdity and horror existing together. The twisted landscape, bizarre NPCs, and weird festivals reflect what the human mind is capable of. The dichotomy between mania and dementia isn't just for visual flair in the game. It mirrors what every person's mind is capable of. Human and horror intertwined. And it seems like the deeper you go into the Shivering Isle world, the more bizarre it becomes. Quests in the Shivering Isles are supposed to be more than just simple tasks. They try to give you a glimpse into true madness and dementia. The colors, the buildings, New Sheoth, and the whacked out characters in the world are all part of making you feel on the edge of insanity. And how could I forget the gatekeepers? The huge, mutilated monsters that are in charge of guarding the Isles. But I only realized later that they're actually made up of old human parts. They're almost like some physical manifestation of dementia's obsession and control over people. Maybe showing how something innocent like a person could be warped into a monstrosity with madness. Cyrodiil is the beautiful world, hiding secrets in dungeons and caves and forests. Then the Shivering Isles is the LSD, drugged out world that pulls you deeper into madness. At the heart of that is Sheogorath. He's unpredictable, animated, and terrifying all at once. He embodies chaos itself, moving between humor and cruelty constantly. He forces you to confront the madness that lies within this world and the people in it.
I do what I must do. I cannot stay to rebuild Tamriel. That task falls to others. Farewell. You've been a good friend in the short time that I've known you. But now I must go. The dragon waits.
While you run errands, slay monsters, and close gates, the emotional heart of Oblivion lies in Martin's septum. Martin is not inherently powerful or even eager to step into legend. He's hesitant and aware of the responsibilities that it entails. So much of the main story of Oblivion was honestly underwhelming. That was not the highlight for me. But I was fascinated by Martin. While you're fighting monsters and closing gates, Martin is preparing to die. Not because he has to, but because he chooses to. And that choice is what makes him the real hero. The final confrontation against Mehrunes Dagon was one of the few times in the main story that I was actually left a bit stunned. Martin gives up his life to save a world that has never known real peace. Beyond the gates and the chaos, Oblivion is a world full of quiet beauty. Sunlit forests, busy towns, and human problems in a very unhuman world. It feels like a place to explore and to lose yourself in, and it's bigger than any one person. Oblivion Remastered was my first Elder Scrolls playthrough, and at times it really annoyed me, and other times I loved it. I can only imagine the feeling of playing the original game back in 2006, when the gaming landscape was so different. And then it would seem even crazier coming back to the game 20 years later and experiencing it all over again in a different way. Of course, there are better stories and systems in more modern RPGs today, but I'm sure this was a genre-defining game for so many.